Hi there everyone, it's me, Hedda. I'm back again and I'd like to wish you not only a Yom Tov but potential Shabbat Shalom, because Shabbat will be starting, when the sun goes down, and it's not looking as if it's really going down at the moment, so we're a little bit of time yet so we can sit and have a chat. So how's everybody been this week then? I know it's been a week since I was last here. I do try and get one to you a week at least. I know I really do feel that I would love to do more and I owe you a lot more. But you know what, I'm trying. Good weeks, bad weeks, you know how it is. We all have them. So I want to start off the way I always do. And we have new people who have come to join us. So I'd like to say welcome. And I hope you like it here in our haven. We're a very, very friendly bunch of people. We all get along fantastically well. We're all very respectful to each other. We're very friendly to each other. We welcome, come one, come all. It doesn't matter how many or how few who come. Everyone is welcome. Everyone. So, apart from asking you yourselves, how are you doing? Me, as you can tell, I don't scrub up that badly. I think I'm going to have to consign Wiggy to a drawer now, because I don't really have much of an excuse to sort of hide underneath a wig now, considering that my hair's a decent enough length. So I want to give it about another four inches or so, and then probably leave it at that, call it a day. But it's not looking too bad. I'm quite happy with it. So one does one's best. Okay, so today's topic, what can I say? Influencers in the news again. We've got what's his name, Ethan Klein, I think that's his name. Yes, it is. H3 Productions, and his wife Healer, but not so much Healer this time, just Ethan. If that's not his name, I'm gonna get hung from the yard arm. You know what I'm like. So anyway, he put out this video, and I've got to say from the outset, yes, he said some pretty problematic things. He said some things which weren't the kindest. Let's be honest. But all those things that he called those girls, I've been called exactly the same and worse. If I had, a pound or a dollar for every single time I've been called a beached whale, oh, I wouldn't be a millionaire, but I'd be flipping comfortable. I'll say that much. Manatee, all sorts. Orca, just anything big, anything huge, whatever. Depending, if I had a blue dress on, I'd be a blue whale. If I had a grey dress on, I'd be a grey whale, or whatever. It doesn't seem to matter. And I wouldn't mind if I've been big my whole life. I haven't. But unfortunately, because I'm more or less fairly immobile now, I can't really properly exercise. So I'm sort of stuck, But, you've just got to get on with it. You see, this is the whole point I think I'm trying to make. We saw this video come out yesterday, and for those who don't know it, Ethan Klein and his wife are H3 Productions, and Ethan tends to be a little bit edgy. He says some things which are problematic, I think, at best, and he likes to make his point by saying problematic things. They get him noticed and talked about. So yesterday he came out with, I'm sure it was yesterday, that this thing with Instagram and photoshopping and sort of fine-tuning your face and all this sort of thing. You know, where is the harm in just looking like yourself instead of, you know, putting on a filter or changing the size of your nose or your ears or your eyebrows or your eye shape, or, and then, you know, it then falls down to the rest of the body. Now, I am all for men and women, you know, want to have a positive attitude, want to have a positive body attitude. Now, positive body attitudes can take different forms, can't they? You can exercise your way to the perfect looking body. You can, I've been told, eat your way to having the perfect body, or not eat, you know, and do various other things. And then, of course, if you're absolutely stacked with money, you can go along to a surgeon and say, I want a bit lopped off here, I want a bit lopped off there, and add it to these, take it off those, take it off this. And then before you know it, half of you's left on the operating table and the rest of you's in a recovery room. And you're several $1,000s later in the pocket, or pounds. So for the rest of us who see all these, you know, perfect examples of these beautiful, not just girls and boys, but beautiful men and beautiful women. And, you know, we look at them and, you know, even when I was younger, you know, they didn't have all this photoshopping nonsense, but, you know, they didn't let you know that behind the scenes there were all these professionals at work. They used to let you believe that, you know, the person that you idolised had these, you would see them sitting with a lipstick, wouldn't you? Or sitting with a powder puff or something like that. Or the man would be holding a razor or something. And you think, oh God, hasn't he got chiseled looks, or hasn't she got the perfect English rose face? And nobody said there's a team behind the scenes making him and her look like this. So they gave you the impression that everything was achievable. But it's really, really hard, isn't it, when you've got especially young kids these days and young people who are looking at all these body perfect, face perfect, hair perfect people, and they spend their money on makeup and face creams and hair stuff and, you know, going to the gym and all this sort of thing. And all they want to do is be exactly like their idols. But the thing is, we've got to keep in play here honesty. And it's a very, very difficult one. But when you look at the likes of Photoshop and face tuning and things like that, how can you, you know, have a face that, say, maybe have a few acne scars, or you might, you know, you might have one eye slightly bigger than the other, like, you know, mine don't match. You know, your nose might be a little bit too big, more than one chin, that sort of thing. Now, wouldn't it be great if I could go into Photoshop and say, right, well, I'll certainly be getting rid of these. That might take a few years off me, and I'll slim down my nose a little bit, maybe make my top lip a little bit larger, make my eyes exactly the same shape, you know, that sort of thing. Tease my hair a little bit longer, maybe put a few sort of like filters in so it makes my hair look sort of sun-kissed with blonde streaks. And then once I've got all that done, and I've sort of like fiddle with my makeup to make it sure it's all in the perfect lines, and the mascara's just right, and the lipstick's just perfect, and what have you. And then all I've got to do is press a button on the computer, and that face is made. And I can send that out into the world. And I can con the world that I look like that. And me personally, and this is just my personal opinion, stuff like Photoshop and face tuning is a con. It is. You look at someone like James Charles, who does have a few spots and facial imperfections, and then he goes and face tunes himself, and all of a sudden he's got skin like glass. Come on. Nobody has that. Nobody does that. You know, if I could go on Facetune and, you know, and with my pores and, you know, and my skin imperfections and things like that. I mean, all of you've seen me absolutely barefaced. And you know, I've got to be honest here. There's a big difference between this face now and the face I presented you all with about half a dozen videos ago, where I had not a scrap of makeup on, hair scraped back, and I'm putting all these oils and lotions into my face. There's a huge difference, because I've now got mascara on, I've got eyeshadow on, I've got some cream on my face, some lipstick on, that sort of thing. So there is that huge difference. So you have seen a true before and after with me. But if I face tuned everything and say, you know, straighten my neck up a bit and sort of put the girls away, that sort of thing, and made them a bit smaller, and then I take that photograph of me, click on the computer, send that out to the world, and everybody will look and say, oh, Hedda's really great for her age, isn't she? Oh, isn't she marvellous? I mean, look, she hasn't got a chin, she hasn't got a wrinkle, she's doing brilliant, isn't she? And then what happens if, you know, I'm rolling down the street and people stop and take a sort of a second look and go, isn't that Hedda Gold? No, it can't be, just looks like her. And say I hear my name and just automatically think, oh, hi there, how are you? Yes, it's me. And then people will take a look at me and go, you don't look anything like your picture. And it would be true, wouldn't it? Because I wouldn't look like anything like my picture. Because my picture is a con. And my picture is a dream of how I would like to truly look. But it's not real. And I can do so much with my face. It's like I can enhance what I have and then try and camouflage the rest, right? And that's honest. That's being honest. You know, I do like having makeup on. I don't really wear it all the time. I tend to wear it more often these days now, and with you guys. But, you know, I watch a lot of makeup tutorials and I try and make the most of what I have. Because, you know, some people lose their looks as they get older. Others are blessed and they don't, they just seem to blossom. Not that I'm envious much. But I know I'm sounding a little bit disjointed because I've got to admit, I've got to tell you something. I had a wisdom tooth out this morning, and the dentist gave me 2 full syringes of whatever kind of numbing thing that they do, and I'm still a little bit sort of and what have you since then, so please forgive me. So the whole point of this is, what I'm trying to say is that these are the faces that we've been given, right? These are the bodies that we've been given. And sometimes we can look in the mirror and see our reflection. And some of us are, you know, lucky in the fact that they see themselves and they're automatically very positive, and they'll say, well, I might not be perfect, but I've got lovely hair, I've got lovely eyes, I've got a nice smile, you know, my bum's not too big, my boobs are still nice and perky, that sort of thing. I've got a twinkle in my eye. That's me, that's my day, I'm fine, I can go off. Others of us will take a look in the mirror and hate ourselves, really dislike ourselves, look in the mirror and feel despair, because we would give anything to look like the people on Instagram, some of them on YouTube, these makeup artists with these absolutely beautiful looks. But, and I'm not saying all, but some of them are given a little bit of a filter. So they're not exactly right on the knock, if you know what I mean. They're not entirely 100% honest. And sometimes if you're a little bit dissatisfied with your lot in life, now, and I say whether this be a man or a woman, because it is very true these days. A lot of men wear makeup, and I say, good on you. I've seen some gorgeous looking men with makeup on, and they look absolutely brilliant. And it's not as if it's a new thing. They were doing this back in, in ancient times. Men wore makeup, and they looked fantastic. So why can't they wear it now? You don't have to be gay to wear makeup. You can be, I know straight men who wear makeup. They like a little bit of mascara on to make their lashes look longer. And, they're not above putting on some Estee Lauder or some, whatever it is on their faces to, stop the wrinkles showing through, and a little bit of highlighter for their cheekbones. Good for them, I say. They're enhancing what they've got, and it puts a spring in their step and makes them feel happy. But I was talking to a friend yesterday about all this thing with this H3H3 Productions, and of course he upset Trisha Paytas. Now, from my understanding, Trisha Paytas has had, bits and pieces done to herself to tune her body up. I don't know if she's had anything done to her face. I really don't know. But I was looking at what she called the differences between her pretty days and her ugly days. And there was a heck of a difference. But I took issue with that, because I don't think you should be saying, especially if you've got a younger audience, that, we should all accept our ugly days. No. Personally, I don't agree with that. Because if you're going to use words like ugly, when you have depression, when you have low self-esteem, it's like, I don't know, it's like almost as if you've got to know your place, stay in your lane and stay there and never adventure out of it. I don't agree with that. I agree that everyone should have the freedom to do to their own bodies what they want to do, as long as it's not doing them any harm. But if people want to spend money on their bodies, on their faces, whatever, that's fine. And I don't have a problem with that at all. But where I do have a problem is when influencers aren't honest about the pictures of themselves that they put out there. I don't like that. I think that they should be honest and say, I have problematic skin. My hair won't lie the right way, the way I want it to. I can't get my mascara on to save my life. So you're going to be seeing me, what you see is what you get today. And you don't often see a lot of that, do you? Because everybody has got to be perfect. What is this thing about everybody having to be perfect? What people don't understand is it's the immense pressure that you're putting on people who have a predilection towards being depressed and to having low moods and low self-esteem. It's unkind, because there are people out there who would give anything to look like their idols, spend any amount of money to look like their idols. And, you know, they won't have perfect features. And it's like making them chase a dream that's just not achievable. So why can't the influencers be more honest and say, my features aren't perfect either, but this is what I do to camouflage the imperfections. And it's achievable. Wouldn't that be better? Wouldn't that be honest? And then wouldn't we all wake up happier every day knowing that we've got these imperfections, you know, we've also got lovely parts to us. So what we do is we enhance the better bits, and then we camouflage the other bits, but we're being taught to do it in such a way that it's achievable. And that's my argument here, because it is crazy these days how much modern life is a pressure. It's all, and it is a pressure, and it's oppressing. I think you just look at the way some people behave, celebrities, people like that, people who have got a voice, and they're very, very lucky to have these voices. And there are so many of us who don't have a voice, and we're like a captive audience, and we just have to sit and listen and hope that we're being told the truth. And, you know, it is absolutely ridiculous now that we're living in an age that the truth can be found out within a matter of minutes. It's not as if you can go around for years saying, oh, my teeth are naturally white because I just brush them every day. No, you'll probably be going for teeth whitening treatment. But you're not going to tell anybody that, are you? You're just going to let them believe that you have as blessed, a beautiful white smile as you had when you were a teenager. Now, again, I'm not saying that that's not normally achievable. I do know people where they do have a perfect set of teeth from sort of being the age of 18. And they're really, really lucky to have that. But not all of us are so blessed. And you've got to take what help that you can get. And I think it's particularly unfair, the pressure that is put on young people these days to be perfect, to have the perfect body, to have the perfect hair, perfect nails, perfect face, the right clothes, the right shoes, to be seen in the right places, to go to the right place on holiday. Everything costs money. What if they don't have the money? It can lead to a pretty heavy depression. So we are already condemning our young ones, and I'm talking about teenagers and up here, 15, 16, what have you, maybe probably even younger. We're condemning them to a life of pressure to, be the same as their idols. And their idols aren't helping the matter by having their faces twiddled with and photographed, and then the pictures are sent out there and they're in magazines, and these kids are looking at these magazines, or they're looking at stuff online and sitting there wishing upon wishing that they could look like, Ariana Grande or whoever. I'm sorry, I am not up with the current music scene, so I couldn't tell you who's who. But, back when I was younger, it was any of the people in glam rock and, stuff like that, that you wanted to look like. And, I remember in, my late 20s, it was sort of like everybody either wanted to look like Kylie Minogue or They wanted to look like Princess Diana and things like that. And the nearest some girls could get to look like Princess Diana was getting their hair cut the same as hers. But they didn't have a hope in hell of looking anything like her in the face. They could try, but it just wasn't going to work. I just think that these days we really do have to try harder to get the message across that being perfect is not the be-all and end-all of life. That, you know, a face without makeup is a blank canvas. And if we can teach our teens, you know, show them, I mean, even give makeup lessons in schools and sit them down in front of mirrors and get them to practice on each other and say, you know, look at the eyes and see what colour they are and see what colours in a palette that you can find to match their eyes. Or can you find another colour that might make their eyes pop a little bit? And let's have a look at their lips. What colour do you think their lips should be? And get them to, you know, take some of their power back. Wouldn't that be a fantastic idea? Get them started off in schools and get them started making their own informed choices and decisions. And, you know, let them explore colour and what they can do with it. And they're all reaching out and helping each other. So by the time they leave school and they're fully informed that there is Photoshop and face tuning and all this sort of thing, they're going to be of a mindset, well, that's great for them, but, you know, it's not easy for us to access that. But we've already learned how to enhance what we have and to camouflage the rest. And we're pretty happy with what we're achieving. And what we're going to do now is just carry on and spread the word. Now, wouldn't that be a wonderful thing to do? You know, it's like they say, you get them when they're young and teach them. And you're giving them this body positivity and, you know, how to, you know, make the most of your features so that you can look at yourself in the mirror. Because let's face it, teens are very vain and they want to look in the mirror all the time and check themselves out. And I would like every teen to have makeup lessons in schools so they can look themselves in the mirror and go, I did a great job on my face today. And I look great. And I put makeup on my friend and he looks great or she looks great. You know? And some of them might want to be budding makeup artists. Some of them want to get in and learn how to make cosmetics. Some of them might, you know, want to get into whatever they want. It doesn't matter. It's all about raising their self-esteem and getting rid of that low mood and getting rid of low expectations. We can teach our young so much about how they can achieve their dreams, but they've got to have the right mindset to begin with. Don't be led by the wrong people. You know, we have to be realistic and we can give them goals to aim for. And they will surprise us because kids always do. And, you know, as I'm realizing as I get older that, you know, our children are our future and we should be investing in them to make the most of themselves in every way possible. But we've got to look after their mental health. Because if we don't, we're losing so much. We can't afford to lose them. Because without them, we are right up shit creek without a paddle, my friends. And that's the truth. We've got to look after them. And instead of, you know, allowing idols to let kids, like, they're not deliberately doing it, but it's a case of, you know, if you use this product, you can look more like me. That's rubbish. You and I both know that. But if we use like that idea that I had before, that, you know, I can almost imagine it and see their faces and see their excitement and hear the laughter as they're going. And laughter is a wonderful thing. I've said that so many times. I'm probably too idealistic. I'm probably far too naive. I know I still am. At my great age, I can still be incredibly naive. But it would be a wonderful thing to get them going on something like that. And I mean, I know they do makeup and hairdressing in that schools, but that's more vocational stuff, I believe. I think it would be great to start them off just maybe a year younger, and we'll start to build them up from there. As soon as they start to take notice of really what's going on around them and taking it all in from an adult world perspective, that's when we should be nurturing them the most, because their minds are fresh and open to new ideas, and that's when we should be getting a hold of them. And it's another half an hour one, and I didn't realise I've been yakking for half an hour, so sorry about that. I've just realised my face is still a bit swollen, but never mind. That's my sixpence worth, as they say. So it's been lovely talking to you again. I'm sorry if I haven't made much sense today. I do apologise. I will mark myself out of 10 with my must try harder. But I love you all. Thank you so much again for being here, and I will see you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.